Ian from University Science Malaysia, Institute for Research in Molecular Medicine. Our institute is mostly focused on study of genomic, proteomic, and development of biomarker for detection of diseases and also cancer. Today, I would like to present one of my research study entitled Expression of Human Neonatal Fc Receptor in E. coli. So first of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about this protein. Fc receptor, or we call as neonatal Fc receptor, or FcRn, is found to be expressed in most of the mammalian tissue, ranging from human, rat, rabbit, chimpanzee, and etc. This protein has a very unique function. It is able to bind to the Fc region of antibody, IgG, and it has two unique functions. The first function is involved in the passive immunity in the newborn. As we can see it here, this is a placenta of the epithelial cell placenta, and the maternal circulation and fetal circulation. We know that the maternal IgG is able to cross the placenta and transfer to the fetal. But how actually the transfer can occur? Actually, the answer is FcRn. FcRn is found to be expressed in the epithelial cell of placenta. It is able to bind to the IgG and then transfer the IgG across placenta given to the fetal. And this is how it is the newborn baby can get the IgG from mother. And besides that, the second important function for FcRn is it is able to enhance the serum half-life of IgG in blood plasma. As you can see, this is an endothelial cell of blood capillary, and this is a blood plasma. In the normal condition, those plasma protein that entering the endothelial cell, it will be degraded by the lysosome. However, when the IgG is entering the endothelial cell, it will be bound by the FcRn, which is expressed by the endothelial cell, and the FcRn will recycling the IgG to the surface of blood plasma. And this is able to protect the IgG from degradation process by lysosome for approximately about 21 days compared to the other. So this unique feature makes FcRn become a very important candidate in the pharmacokinetic study in order to develop therapeutic antibody. Study has revealed the 3D structure of human FcRn. As you can see it here, this is a heterodimer. It consists of two subunits, P51 alpha heavy chain and the beta-2 microglobulin. However, most of the binding site to the IgG is found in the alpha chain, but not the beta chain. Thus, many studies trying to express the FcRn in the laboratory so that they can use it to develop therapeutic immunoglobulin. But most of them are using the mammalian tissue culture to express FcRn. However, the mammalian tissue culture comes with several disadvantages, such as high chance of contamination, high cost of expenses, and also low yield in production. So today we would like to suggest a method to express this alpha chain of FcRn by using the bacterial expression system. And since the binding site to the IgG is only found in alpha chain, so we only choose to express the alpha chain. This is the overview about the methodology. So first of all, we're going to the first step, that is the cloning and protein expression. First of all, in the cloning, we are having the cDNA of this alpha chain of FcRn, and this is a gene bank accession number. The cDNA is encoding for the full length of human FcRn alpha chain. It was then cloned into the PT28B bacterial expression vector, and then followed by transformation into the host Rosetta Gami 2. After transformation, we are going to proceed with protein expression. However, we cannot use the conventional method to do protein expression because this is a human DNA and it will express human protein. The human protein might become insoluble and lost the function once you express in bacterial cell. That's why we have to use a strategy, the combination of osmotic stress and heat shock. How are we going to use doing this? We are having the expression medium with combination of therapeutic broth, kanamycin, because the vector itself is resistant to kanamycin, and then sodium chloride. The use of sodium chloride is to generate the high osmotic concentration in the medium, and then later we'll explain the theory behind that, and also glucose and also betaine. And then the bacteria culture containing the cDNA is then added into the medium and followed by incubation at 37 degrees Celsius. When the OD of the medium reaches 0.6, we are going to proceed with a brief heat shock process. First of all, the flask will be transferred to a water bath with temperature 45 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. The purpose of doing so is to ensure that the temperature of the medium is also reached approximately 45 degrees Celsius. After 10 minutes, the flask is again transferred back to the incubator shaker and added with 0.5 millimolar IPTG to induce protein expression. After this, we will generate a brief heat shock by increased temperature to 45 degrees Celsius and shaking at 180 RPM for 30 minutes. After this brief heat shock process, the temperature is reduced to 22 degrees Celsius to allow protein expression occur for overnight. After this, once we express a protein, we will obtain the soluble fraction. We will proceed with protein purification by using the HIS pure cobalt resin from Thermo Scientific. We're going to wash the protein by using the concentration gradient of imidazole 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And at last, we're going to elute the protein with imidazole concentration 250 millimolar. And then followed by next step, we're going to exchange the buffer by storing the protein in storage buffer, which is 1-time TBS with 10% glycerol. And after we successful to store the protein, we will proceed with functionality assay. This is very important is because sometimes some of the protein is expressed as soluble fraction in the bacteria. However, the function is not there. So we must test whether the function, the FcRn is still able to bind to the IgG or not. So we going to do ELISA. And this FcRn have one unique function, a feature, which is the affinity to the IgG is pH sensitive, which means that FcRn will bind to the IgG at pH slightly acidic, which is 5.5 or 6, and it will not bind to the IgG at physiological pH 7.5. So in that case, we're going to conduct ELISA at the pH 5.5. So the first ELISA, we're going to determine the affinity of the FcRn expressed toward the IgG1, human IgG1. The whole ELISA was conducted at pH 5.5. How can we do that? All in the ELISA, all the coating buffer and wash buffer was prepared at this pH 5.5. And then first of all, we coat the ELISA plate with a serially diluted human IgG1, followed by blocking by using 5% ethanoamine. In this case, we are not going to use milk or bovine serum albumin to do the blocking because our study found that when we block with milk and bovine serum albumin, it gives us very high background. Because FcRn itself, other than it is able to bind to the Fc region of IgG, it can also bind to the albumin. So we have to use non-protein blocker such as ethanoamine. After this, followed by adding with the FcRn Express. The FcRn Express itself is having a HIS tag. This is from the vector. And then followed by Detaxon, anti-HIS. And at last, we're going to add ABTS. This is for the purpose of chemiluminescence to detect the signal. And after this, we're going to conduct the second ELISA. The second ELISA is to test the pH-dependent characteristic in the FcRn. We conduct the ELISA at 6 different range of pH from 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, and 8. So we're going to conduct 6 different range of pH of ELISA. And same thing, each well in the ELISA, first of all, was coated with IgG, and then followed by blocking, adding with the FcRn, and then followed by Detaxon, anti-HIS, and then at last followed by adding of ABTS. At the same time, we conduct another control experiment by same thing, using the same condition, 6 different range of pH, but this time we did not add with IgG, just directly coat the plate. And then we directly added with the FcRn, followed by Detaxon, anti-HIS, followed by ABTS. So in this case, in this well, there is no IgG. So supposedly there is no binding occur. So no matter in which range of pH, it should not give any signal in this condition. So now let's proceed with the result of discussion. First of all, from the expression result, we detect with the SDS pitch and Western blot. This is a result of SDS pitch gel. As you can see here, this is before induction. and before adding IPTG. After adding IPTG and overnight expression, this is a soluble fraction of protein expressed in soluble fraction. This is a soluble fraction. And we take the soluble fraction to do protein purification, and this is a result of purified protein obtained. So the FCN is approximately 45 kilodalton. This is corresponding with previous study. And then we detect with the Western blot. So as you can see here, there is no expression of FCN before induction, and there's part of the protein still expressed as insoluble fraction, and this is a soluble fraction expressed. We took the soluble fraction to do protein purification, and this is the result we get. And how actually the combination, as I said, that we are using the combination of osmotic stress and heat shock to express it. How actually this mechanism enable us to express a soluble fraction of FCN. The theory behind actually is, as you can see it here, when the Rosetta Gummy 2 is carrying the vector and is grow in the environment with high osmotic stress, we generate through the sodium chloride, and then we add up with betaine. In an environment with high osmotic stress, the bacteria cell will uptake betaine into the cytoplasm to encounter this harsh environment. So thus, betaine has been described as the osmoprotectant to enable the cell to continue proliferate in the environment of high osmotic stress. When the protein is expressed by the FcRn, by the vector, the betaine will provide a preferential hydration to the protein. This further stabilizes the protein in its native conformation. At the same time, a brief heat shock is able to activate the cell to produce heat shock protein. Heat shock protein is known as the molecular chaperone found in the bacteria. It is able to prevent protein aggregation and further assist in the protein folding. So all this effort together is enable us to express a soluble fraction of SCRN. After this, we proceed with detection of ELISA. As you can see here, when we coat the well with serially diluted HIGG, and then the signal is increasing. So from here it shows that when there are more IgG coated in the plate, the signal is increasing, meaning that there are more FcRn binding to IgG, thus the signal is increasing. And the second ELISA we test at 6 different range of pH, as you can see, 5.5, 6 until 8. So you can see the result here. When the well is coated with IgG, the signal is, we get the highest signal at 5.5 and 6, and the signal is totally insignificant at 7.5 and above. However, when there is no IgG coated in the well, the signal is insignificant at all, even at the pH 5.5. So our study suggests that the FcRn, the alpha chain, actually it is still remain functioning in the absence of beta-2 microglobulin, because in most of the method expressed by using mammalian cell, they tend to express the B2M together by using co-transfection. However, and then because we are using bacteria, there is no glycosylation process in bacteria. But the absence of glycosylation does not affect the affinity of FcRn to the IgG. So from here, we have reported that we are suggest a new strategy to express the soluble and also functional alpha chain of FcRn by using the bacteria expression system. And this is the acknowledgement, okay, and references, and thank you.